Hello.
Hello.
So we're doing something a little bit different again. We have my mother's GoPro. I got this from my mum quite a while back, and she's left it here while she's away traveling. And yeah, we're making use of it now. So hopefully the video quality and everything is good. The sound quality is good. It is a bit breezy, so you might hear a little bit of the breeze. But yeah, we're outside in the garden, and yeah, what did we do today?
We went for a beautiful, beautiful hike,
Yep.
actually down the creek. And we actually walked inside the creek, so we were kind of like knee deep.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bit higher, like
Yep.
the water was a bit higher at some
Yep.
point. But yeah, it was really, really beautiful today, and it was just, yeah, such a lovely experience, just seeing God's nature and hearing the sound of the water. It's a bit more like a river. It's pretty,
Yeah.
like the flow is
Yeah.
pretty strong.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I used to go and walk up it when I was a little kid, and I was probably only like knee height when I first went really, really far up the creek. And myself and pretty much all of my friends, we would go up there, and I would go up with some friends of mine one week, and then different friends of mine the next week and stuff. And we used to always walk up and just have a wonderful time looking for eels, platypus, fish. There's lots of beautiful colored birds up there as well, and yeah, no, you never know, you might see a koala or something in the tree, like who knows. And we got a really nice pair of binoculars now, like a really, really, really amazing pair of binoculars. They're 8 times magnification, 42 millimeter lenses, and they're just amazing. They're so crystal clear, so you can, you know, just look around and see the birds even if they're really far away. And yeah, it helps you spot like the best way to walk up, because on some parts of the creek you can walk along the sides. On some parts it's really rocky, and you've got to sort of cross and then walk up a bit and then cross back, and you sort of zigzag up it. In other sections it's definitely much easier to swim. I think in almost most sections it would be easy to swim. It's a little bit too cold for that at the moment, but it was a beautiful day for it, wasn't it? Yeah.
It sure was.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest, like, it wasn't, you know, all perfect, like, you know, as you can imagine,
No.
like these things. And I actually had a bit of a moment during the hike. Dan
Yeah.
knows all about it,
Yeah.
but where I was feeling like, oh, Daniel, like, you know, I'm trying to you know, like, hold this GoPro, and I'm trying to keep my phone safe from the water, and you've led me down this path, and the water's gonna go right up on to my thighs, and it's gonna, like, you know, soak my phone, it's gonna soak the GoPro. And I got really angry with him, actually.
Yeah.
And I was really annoyed, because I tried to call out to him and tell him, like, you need to come and help me, and he wouldn't come.
No.
Because he, you know, he felt like he warned me, and that I was gonna,
Oh,
you know,
I did.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah,
to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And that really upset me, because I felt like, sure, I can do this, but I don't want to be told that I should. And I just got really frustrated with Daniel.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we sorted it out, and I had to vent for a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just thinking now that it's kind of like an image of how we are with God.
Yeah.
At, you know, many times in our lives we were kind of really frustrated that He has put us in this place, and in the back of our minds we know that we actually are able to go forward. We are able to climb the mountain that He's put forward.
You were
or like,
faster, you were faster than me, and
Yeah.
after you kind of got over it, you were like ahead of me, like at
yeah,
times.
we are able to walk in this creek.
Yeah.
But we're making excuses for ourselves, and we don't want to be told what to do. We want it to come, like, from within us, and we want to have the choice and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but it's something that we need to learn to be humble, and to swallow our pride, and not to, you know, not to think that
Be submissive.
yeah, we need to be submissive to our husbands and to God.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, we had a good talk, and it's so necessary, like, you know, to do these things, because, you know, what is a relationship if you don't go for a hike, a real hike up a real creek where, you know, it's really rocky, and I slipped a few times and had to really, like, you know, I cut my hand, you know, it's not deep or anything at all, but I was not even 2 minutes into it and I cut my hand already, and pinched my, you know, my foot in various places. I'm wearing really nice Gore-Tex shoes, really tough tough hiking shoes. But yeah, and one of the things I said to you was, oh look, you know, like as kids we used to go and run up here like barefoot, fearless, you know. So like as adults, like surely we should be even more kind of prepared to do that for each other, and more kind of focused and determined, and seeking the path out where we're going to walk even more quickly, you know. And it really is like a great allegory for sort of how we protest against our Father in heaven, and we say, I don't want to do that, and like, you know, I don't want to, like, I'll come this far, but I won't, I'm going to do it my way. Like I've come to the location you want me to be in, to the creek, but I'm going to do this hike like my way, you know. And there was one point where, just to give you a bit of a mielikuva, as we say in Finnish, like a mental image, I was like, I don't know, 150 meters ahead, and Amanda's in the back, and she's like, you know, doing this and pointing and waving her arms, and I was like waving my arms back, and we were both like, you know, I'll be honest.
So annoyed.
I'll be honest, I was mocking her. Like, you know, I was mocking her. I was like, I don't understand what you're saying, what you're doing.
So mean.
And I don't care. Like, you know, just all I was doing was like, get up here. Like, get up here. And then she was like, do I walk here? I could tell she was going like, do I go here? Do I go? And I was like, oh, there, I can go around there.
I was trying to tell him, my phone's gonna sink in the water, my GoPro's gonna drop, everything's gonna go wrong, and you need to come here and help me.
Yeah, and of course I thought what she was doing was, I'm gonna jump in the water. And I was thinking, well, go for it if that's what you're gonna do. Like, you know, just go for it. Obviously she's got a phone and everything, and you know, it's not recommended. The GoPro's like pretty much completely waterproof, I think. Like, I think it's 10 ATM, like 10 meters before it starts to, you know, get water in it or something. But we don't have a waterproof case, and we don't have a diving case, and we don't care about any of that. It was something I got my mum, and it was meant to be for her to do Bible videos and stuff, but she, you know, it never really got off the ground for her and stuff. She had to play with it for a while, but I guess it wasn't really her thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. So yeah, we had a great walk, and it was really beautiful. And you know, around every single corner, there's just like, God has just left you another just absolute like taste of, you know, of his marvelous beauty. You know, like on one, you know, around one corner you can see this tree and all these beautiful bird's nest ferns just from, you know, littering the branches, and then, you know, beautiful colored birds around the next corner, and then, you know, all these rock pools that have lots of little pebbles, and the pebbles are super shiny and pretty, and then around the next corner a really deep, like, you know, deep place you could swim in, you could jump in and swim really right down the bottom. And then we got far enough up that I could actually show you the waterfall that I used to go and walk up to as a kid. And this waterfall, mind you, it was really, really high up when I was a kid. First of all, I'm small as a child, but it was really high up, and there was no way you could get anywhere near it. And there was so much lantana and weeds and stuff. Like, you just couldn't get up there. Like, you wouldn't be able to, or without really great difficulty getting up there. But now, because of all of the floods, and it's just washed so much down the creek, and the creek is so much wider, and there's just massive boulders everywhere. It was really easy to just climb up the boulders to the bottom of the waterfall and just sit underneath the waterfall and just look up and just praise God for how beautiful it is. There's so much rainforest spinach growing all over the waterfall, and it was just spectacular. I mean, and again, like, you've got the major one that's coming down the middle, but then you have these little ones on the side that are, you know, a lot smaller and stuff. It's just absolutely just breathtaking, really, you know. And I'd always wanted to see that waterfall up close. And when I was younger, it was also really small, because we never really had a flood that was that intense, you know, 4 months of non-stop rain. So it was always really small. And when I was younger, you could also see it from the road. So if you drove around the corner, you could sort of just see it in between these trees, and it was very, very small. But now it's massive, but you can't see it from the road because all the trees have grown up. So you have no idea it's there unless you know, as a kid, you walked up there and found it, basically, or drove past when you were young and then remembered that it was always at that spot. So yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really gorgeous to see, and we sat there for quite a while
Yeah.
and just, sort of admired it
Yeah.
and took photos, of course. But
Had a rest and stuff.
Yeah, it was
We'd
really
walked
beautiful.
quite a bit, at that
Yeah.
point and everything. Yeah, and then nice thing is people have their houses kind of like along the sort of side, so we walked up far enough and then decided to just cut through the neighbour's paddock and up onto the main road and walk along the main road. Otherwise, we'd probably still be down there right now, even walking back, because it's a very, very difficult walk, and you can't walk the same way twice. Like, it's just kind of almost impossible to completely and totally follow the same path that you're sort of going. But
and it's very slippery as well.
Yeah, it is really slippery, and you got to protect your head. I'm not going down there with a helmet, and neither are you, or shin pads or knee guards or anything like that, elbow guards. But you've got to be careful, and hiking shoes, the ones I have, I would say that they're probably the worst grip shoes I've ever worn. Like, they're great in terms of, protecting your feet from being crushed, from being stabbed, from being poked, from being cut. But the bottom of them, they're very like rounded. And I just, I stupidly wore them on the roof the other day, and I just almost slid right off the roof. They're really not very grippy at all. I mean, I would say even my skateboard shoes are better than that. And I reckon the best shoes you could probably wear would be Crocs, actually, because you have a grippy bottom of them, but then they're also just made of plastic. So they're going to get wet, they're going to dry, they're going to get wet, they're going to dry really, really quickly. No need for socks or anything like that at all. And they'll protect you, I think, still, your feet from getting crushed, at least moderately.
That, or maybe those like no shoes that you just slip on your feet.
Yeah.
Those would be okay.
The only thing is, I reckon you could definitely wedge your foot, because part of the most amount of damage or pain I've experienced walking up there isn't from slipping. Not slipping over, but slipping and actually wedging your foot between two rocks that are really, really narrow, and you just you wedge your toe in there, and it's not nice, like, at all. But anyway, it's a bit of a ramble, but it was a wonderful, wonderful walk, and praise God, there's just so much amazing beauty, and it's just so nice to see animals all coexisting, and kind of makes me sort of scoff every time I think about it, that science's argument is just, you have to give nature like billions and hundreds of billions of years, billions and billions of years to for everything to just sort of be what it is today, and we're just a fraction of it's just all such nonsense when you see bees sharing the same flower, and birds literally doing this together, and you see there's a common denominator in all of it, which is intelligent creation. It's it's not just,
or not intelligent creation, but intelligent creator.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it's just something. So it's really...
And again, don't be like me, or if you are like me and you stop on the way and get really annoyed at God for putting where He's put you. But remember, that once you get over your pride, and when you take a piece of humble pie, you can actually really enjoy the challenge that He has put in before you.
Yeah.
And we had a really, really good walk after that first.
Oh, it was amazing.
First kind of bump.
Yep.
We had a really beautiful walk, and we really enjoyed our time together as well, with God and with each other.
Yeah. We have a saying in Australia. It's can't see the forest for the trees. But there's...
We have the same in Sweden.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. What is it in Swedish?
Ser inte skogen för alla träd.
Right, yeah. So it's really important to be able to see that, and to really be able to see the individual beauty and what it all is put together as well, and that's also important, as you were saying, to see that this one isolated moment in your day isn't supposed to ruin your whole day, or ruin your whole relationship, or become a wedge that eventually causes separation and stuff. And that's what Satan does. I mean, we're out in the middle of God's kingdom, just enjoying ourselves, and it's what a beautiful, beautiful day for it. It's such perfect temperature, not too hot, you know, maybe a little bit too cold for wanting to jump in the water and swim all the way up. And we had our phones and stuff anyway. But you know, just breezy, beautiful, full of bird song, and then here's Satan just trying to get in, you know, trying to harass you and just drive a wedge between this whole thing. And I mean, like, we've just got to, best thing we can do is just turn our backs on him, you know?
Yeah, and even if you have such a moment, like even if you give in for a little bit, don't let it ruin your whole day, but instead choose to learn from that moment and to instead, you know, share your you know, difficulties with other people, and you know, hopefully help other people learn as well.
Yeah, we should confess our sins, you know,
Yeah.
like to each other, and you know, otherwise you know, we'll be tempted in different things, you know, and on top of that, yeah, it's just important to communicate. Like, communicating is really the most important thing. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not meant to be that we keep things to ourselves and we just stew over it, you know, inside or whatever, and then put on a fake smile or whatever. But anyway, it's getting windy now, as you probably can hear, so yeah, we'll let you go and see how this one goes. There's tons and tons of breezes and gusts and stuff coming in at the moment, so we got the wind guard on the GoPro, but we have no idea how noisy it's going to be, so we'll have to figure it out, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully you can hear us.
Hopefully you can hear us. So yeah, anyway, thanks for
See ya.
joining us. See ya until next time.